Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Now today I have a couple of messages for you. Number one, I'm here drinking some yogi tea, which is my favorite tea, and the tag on the tea bag says, "Your inner self is your inner guide." Period. No expansion needed on that quotation. The other thing that I wanted to say is that today I'm going to use my son's sight word cards. I got the brilliant idea just to add some dimension into the reading. I don't have anything as far as cards are concerned outside of my one new deck here, and I have an old deck, but same cards. I don't have any oracle decks or anything like that yet, and I am working on my own, but it just dawned on me that we could really probably derive some cool messages from these. So I'm going to start with those first and see what comes up. And then last thing I want to say is that when I was preparing for the reading, the song that kept playing over and over in my head was "Come As You Are" by Nirvana. I'm sure you know, if you're born anywhere near the 90s, or grown up in the 90s at all, I'm sure you know who Nirvana is, but "Come As You Are" is one of their famous songs, their popular songs, and particularly the part where it was saying, he's saying, "Well, I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun." I don't know what that means, but just thought I'd share because it was the one part that just kept playing over and over, okay? So People is at the bottom of this card deck. Of course, these don't shuffle quite like my other deck. And I'm going to post that Nirvana song. I love Nirvana personally, you know, them as a group, and Kurt Cobain as a grunge icon. Definitely changed the face of music, the trajectory of music from what was kind of, you know, more candy-coated rock and roll to something more raw and real and emo in a sense. But I love the emotion of their songs, even though a lot of the lyrics are kind of wild. So I'm gonna post it on the community tab because I love, actually, one of my favorite things to do is posting songs that I channel on the tab, and videos in particular. Just add a little dimension to the messages that are channeled. All right, so let's see what we got here. Just give us a few cards and let's see what we can derive from that, and then I'll pull a couple tarot to take that. Okay. Get what? Let me take a sip of my tea. Perfect. You know when you got that perfect cup of tea? Get his words to something here. To, and we'll keep that came out last. And he who and there. His words. His words to he, maybe to himself. His words to he who and there. Get his words to he who and there. Get his words to he who and there. So someone wants to transmit a message. His words to, get his words to, and let me see what's on the bottom. Out, yep, to transfer Someone wants to, oh, and there's another one. I didn't mean to pull that, but they're a little sticky. Out then. Somebody wants a message to be transmitted, but they're bound to do so. Get his words out too. Yeah, that's just the energy, and it's cryptid. It's a cryptid message. It's like somebody wants to say something, but either their throat chakra is blocked or their actual communication is blocked. They want to say something. They want to say something maybe in defense of themselves. Yeah, and I got this Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck from when I've been shuffled. They want to say something in defense of their actions, of the things that they have. They want to defend themselves ultimately, but for some reason they're not being able to, whether it's just in their mind that they're blocking themselves from saying the right words and expressing themselves clearly, or they are physically bound from being able to express some truth or some clarity or some communication about their present position, or perhaps, and there and then is about time and place, about some particular time and place. I wonder if you can even see these down here, about some particular time and place in which something occurred. Maybe it's been out. There's somebody is bound. Maybe somebody is locked up. Like that's when I think of physically being bound, that's obviously the most practical thing you think of, is somebody actually being incarcerated. But I also get the sense that it's spiritual jail and there's some type of confinement energetically or spiritually, maybe even pride in the practical sense, that's keeping someone from speaking their truth and expressing wow, now my throat and expressing themselves fully and freely. And when I see then and there, then refers to some time, and then meaning the past tense, there is place or position, then and there, to and his words to and he, and what is this one again? Who, then and there, get out. Oh shit. Somebody is, what? Do y'all see this? First, get out. First, get out. Somebody's bound spiritually by the, somebody's bound by the magic or manipulation that they subscribe to in some other existence, meaning like it's not so much happening now, but it's like it's confining or maybe backfiring, like this energy is returning back to the one who expelled it, or the to the magician or whomever, and it's confined, it's captured them in such a way that they don't feel like they feel like a prisoner in their own body. First, get out. So I would say to that, first, get out. Recognize that you have the power to release yourself, that no matter what the energy around you is expressing to you, this is the Ace of Wands, which means this is power and creativity and inspiration that comes from a divine space. So if you can reach for that with all your might and lean on that creativity, that's what can guide you in the right steps out of this illusion of captivity. Because whenever we're feeling like we're bound or blocked or stuck, it's more illusion than it is anything, and it's us pretty much like submitting to a satanic force. Ultimately, meaning satanic in the sense of limitations and restrictions and things of that nature. Like when you feel like you have no choice in the matter of your life, you have no other option but to do a thing that is causing you harm or causing others harm, or you have no choice but to even be quiet or keep certain secrets, even is what I'm hearing now, because this is about someone wanting to share some truth but feeling like they can't, whether it is going to be incriminating or it's going to go against the grain of some collaborative force that they may be a part of, or it's going to be a blemish on their character or their reputation, which is a matter of pride, or they literally just for literally maybe feel like their life is in jeopardy or being threatened if they say a certain thing or express certain truths. All of that is illusionary, because the divine is fueled by the spirit of truth. This here in terms of divine inspiration, that energy and power and authority that can get you out of any situation, it only thrives and is activated by truth. So you can't perpetuate. It's the lie and the illusion that is keeping one bound or captivated or contained in this space, this place of despair. Ultimately, like it literally is saying, get out, So you have to release yourself from that illusion that more than likely, if you're in a space like this or knowing someone in a space like this, the first thing that needs to happen is that you probably need to do the very opposite of everything that your spirit is telling you to do. If it's telling you to be quiet, you probably need to find some way to speak out. If it's telling you to continue to do something diabolically or destructively, you probably need to stop that thing. If it's telling you to self-soothe because that's the other spirit of the devil or demonic or satanic spirit is obsession and addiction. Like us overstimulating your carnal nature and sensationalizing life in a way that is imbalanced. If you're being encouraged to do those things for the sake of soothing self and satisfying and even numbing self, then you probably want to stop. So I would say the first step is to get out of your head, and get into your heart. Think about how those things are making you feel energetically, emotionally, psychologically, if they are contributing to that feeling of distress and depression and dissension between your mind, body, and spirit. That's the first thing you want to release, above all. And then if it's a space that you're in that is not secure and sound and doesn't make you feel safe, you definitely want to get out of there. If it's people that you're around that are perpetuating that same lack of comfort and ease and peace, you definitely want to get away from them. If it's things that you're holding on to that is damn near killing you to do so, but it's, again, satisfying some carnal sensation, you probably want to release it before, because it could be the thing that's actually pushing you to do what you rather not be doing, ultimately. Ace of Wands here. You want to be moving in the most upright position possible, at this time. I'm just going to pull cards. And yeah, look at that. Ace of Cups on the bottom. You want to be moving in the spirit of love. Yeah, rejecting anything that does not match with that spirit. If it's not fulfilling you and filling your life with fruits of the spirit, gratitude, peace, love, creativity, truth, honesty, you know, all those things that, you know, we know the difference between what's good and what's not. It's just sometimes it is satisfying for us to choose the things that are most gratifying to our carnal natures as humans. But we know what satisfies the spirit, and most importantly, we know what doesn't, first by way of what has an emotional impact on our well-being, makes us feel uneasy or confused or, you know, out of sorts, low on energy, all of those cues there. And this is not even just for the extreme case of somebody that is clearly in a position of spiritual confinement, you know, maybe even imprisonment at this time. This can be in the most practical sense of just being in alignment with things that you know for a fact are not on your highest vibration, that are not this, you know, things that you've been wanting to let go, people that you've been feeling disconnected from, places that you've been feeling rejected in, you know, or uncomfortable in, insecure in. Those are the first things to go. Okay, so let's just get a couple cards. Wow, that was cool for the first time. Like, I literally have never done this, especially with these cards. Like, these are my son's sight word cards, for crying out loud. Oh, so let's see if we can get a couple cards out, and then I'm gonna shut it down. Shut it down. Yeah, we got the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. Someone moving fiercely toward some offer or to make an offer. Let's see. Oh, I didn't look at the bottom, did I? Whoops, my bad. That's a lot. I'm not taking all these. I could, but it's like 6. I think 5 is about my limit for a grip of cards these days. And the devil was definitely leading the way on that. Sorry, when you got a good cup of tea. Oh, and let's get, it's hard to stop drinking it to finish that statement. But remember I said, come as you are. And I said the part about I don't have a gun kept coming up. How that's playing out now that these words are out is in that vein of the illusion of danger. You know, so for that individual that feels like if they do or say or disconnect in some certain way, that their life is going to be in danger. And this, you know, the adverse energy would like to hang over this illusion over your head as if you do this thing, your life is in danger. Now, between you and the divine is your expiration date. You know what I mean? So if you consider that if you are being urged in the spirit of truth to do a thing, but you're going against that grain, that's a sure way to bring a faster expiration date to yourself than it is to be adherent to some earthly bound entity, you know, i.e. people or places or things that don't have true governing over your soul, you know. But for you to saying I don't have a gun, I don't have a gun, it's like, I don't know if that's the reassurance that in this moment that you should be assured that you're not in danger and you are free to do what you feel you are called and led to do to secure your spiritual safety, or if that is, yeah, I kind of feel like that's it. You know what I mean? I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. You know, it's like something is trying to project to you that it's more dangerous than it actually is. You know, so the only way that entity or that threat truly holds weight and value is if you allow it to, like if you give it that power. Okay, all right, let's see. Spirit be talking like everything always aligned, don't it? Yeah, the World card, which almost, I kind of flipped it upside down, but almost flipped upside down. This is like the end of a cycle and a new one beginning. And with this here, this is kind of the energy of that aggression or threat that I was talking about, where there's some energy that would like to stop this offering from coming. This offer or message, that's what this is actually. Something would like to stop this message from coming through because it is going to actually contribute to the progression of a new cycle instead of perpetuating an old cycle that clearly, by the looks of these cards, is not vital. You know, it's almost as if it's the very deliverance of, and deliverance is a big word, the very deliverance of this message in itself is what gets to truly break this energy free to, partake in some new cycle of vitality. And if you notice here, the energy of the Knight of Swords, which is more of the aggressive force, is actually behind the Page of Pentacles. It's going in the opposite direction, and guess what? No, he don't have a gun. He got a knife. He has a sword. You know what I mean? So he got to get close up to you in order for there to really be a violent impact. So that speaks to people from distances and far proximities presenting themselves to be more of a threat than they actually practically can be. He looks more threatening than he actually is, because news can travel much faster than he probably can on a horse. And if that's the thing that's going to liberate this energy to be free to move forward in whatever way that gets to be, you can almost take heart that the Knight of Swords is already heading in the wrong. This is the direction. And then look what came out of healing. That's the direction that this message is going in. The direction of healing against those same demonic forces of interference and possession and addiction and restriction and limitation. This is the old world cycle. This is the new one. Like, this is ahead. This is what he's trying to perpetuate, or trying to reinforce, I should say, in the Knight of Swords. And here, this energy is in the middle, needing to move forward. It's like life or death, quite honestly, but still being, look, what's on the other side, but an upgrade of energy, strength, guidance, and victory. All this on this side of just walking in integrity, following your spirit, following your guides, and perhaps maybe going against the grain in the way that this is played out from what you have initially established for yourself or connected yourself to. Quite plainly, people have been in collaboration or in connection in the most casual ways, and the most innocent ways, the most diabolical ways, every way, shape, and form. There have been communities and connections formed that are now being revealed in their pure light, whether for what they truly are worth, and some are waking up to realize that what they are who they are incited to be is not well represented or accepted within the connections that they have committed themselves to, So it's really hard, even after that realization, to go in a new direction, because, as I said, there's all types of threats. Even if it's not physical, sometimes it could just be on account of just not being associated anymore, having the acceptance of said connections that you once had, or whatever those societies have done for people, or connections have done for people, in every way, shape, and form, in a familial sense, in a friendly sense, in a work sense, a creative sense, every which way. We as people have connected and aligned with other energies for some, some personal reason, or professional reason. And it's an awakening happening universally as to how you truly do align in those connections. And once you have the awakening, then it's up to you to decide, does that fit into the scheme of the world that you want to live in? Because you're creating your world ultimately. So are you going to continue to be enslaved to cycles that have kept you bound and broken in some senses, have broken you, or bruised in some energetic way? Or are you going to take the leap of faith, even if it means a new beginning? Because the Page of Pentacles is very much a new start, new opportunity type of energy, almost childlike energy, and explore the world as it's being as it's newly being expressed to you and as you're being invited to, with this promise on the other side. Here is the King of Pentacles. That's a major jump from the page, same suit, but from the Pentacle to the from the Page of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles, then to the King. That's like two levels that you jumped up at least just to get to this stage. And then you got the Strength card, which is a reflection of how you have overcome, this confrontation and partner with your inner light. Oh, back to my message, my T light, my T message. Your inner self is your inner guide. You've begun to tune into your inner voice, your inner guide, who is you. Ultimately, you're the one that has the power to tune into that frequency, you and you alone. Otherwise, you get caught up in frequencies that are external to your spiritual nature, and they'll tell you anything. They'll tell you that if you do that or say that or be that or go there or be here, then the X, Y, and Z is going to happen to you. They'll project all types of energy towards you for their own agendas, but your inner guidance is only going to tell you the truth. And sometimes that truth is daunting. Sometimes it even hurts a little bit. Sometimes it even bruises the pride and the ego a bit to know, like, oh shoot, I've been going the wrong way this whole time. I've been rocking with the wrong folks. You know what I mean? I haven't been doing the things that were really aligned with my destiny and my ultimate success. Sometimes that truth hurts, but if you have the courage to face it head on, then there really is no pride in the matter, because victory is the ultimate pride, to know that you're walking and riding, in this case with the Six of Wands, you're riding in victory, above the chaos, confusion, and competition. That's what this energy is leaving behind, because it's chosen to follow its inner guidance, its inner light, those way showers, angels, heavenly hosts, gods, universe, all the signs and signals possible that are ultimately pointing you in the direction of your highest good. And here is that highest good with the Empress card at the bottom of the deck. The Empress is pretty much, aside from the Emperor, she's the most productive, prosperous, and powerful energy in the deck. She has total mastery over every aspect of her character, and she is responsible enough to take accountability for the others that she makes an impression upon, or even is responsible for in some way, shape, or form. And she does it in joy and almost effortlessly, because it's just a part. She's doing it, and she's not operating over someone else's kingdom. The Empress is the divine ruler of the kingdom that she resides over. It's not like she's going and conquering somebody else's and then establishing herself as the ruler of such. That comes with a lot more anxiety and angst and resistance, but when you're sitting on the throne that has been ordained for you, you're doing the things that are organic to your creativity, your divine creativity, you're pursuing passions that are pure You know, you're not looking to see what everybody else is doing and then following suit. You're following your heart, your inner light, once again, that's showing you where your energy is most valued. That's when you sit in the Empress position effortlessly, because life is, you know, life isn't living you, you're living life, you know, and you're thriving as opposed to surviving. So I'm going to take the top card. Yeah, and this is the adverse of that. This is if you want to continue, this is the way toward, you know, I'm going to do it like this. This is the energy that persists from following this path, being stuck in illusions, being afraid to take a step out in faith and doing what's right, what's righteous for your life, allowing yourself to continue to be bound by the lies of the enemy, whether they be physical, actual enemies, or that energetic enemy. I said enemy by mistake, but yes, the inner me and internally that is not speaking words of life to you. This is that energy that persists. Depression, depletion, fixation on the past, not able to see your present position of power, let alone to project any hope in the future. This is one of the most depressive cards in the deck, quite honestly. That's just, you know, that's the fate of you staying bound in any type of spiritual imprisonment on account of not being willing to release yourself. Now, if you are experiencing karma that is just divined on account of, you know, what has been laid out for you, that's one thing. But I would still like to say that it's still about your perspective of your circumstances. So even if you are experiencing some low vibrational aspects of life that are unfavorable, and you may identify with it for some particular reason, you still, as long as you have breath in your body, have the will to perceive it as something forwarding to a new path. You know, regardless of how unfavorable it might be, the only way that it can truly overtake you and overpower you, even in the lowest vibrations, is if you define it as something that is a detriment. You could be losing everything that you have, you know, and I've been there, to lost a car, lost a home, you know, well, lost an apartment. I never lost a house, but to have to leave your apartment with no sure place to go, to lose all of your prized possessions with no projection of when you're going to, you know, recoup them. You know, but in everything that I've always lost, I always saw it as an opportunity to be released and for my load to be lightened for whatever leg of the journey I was about to go on. And that, I'm not just saying that because, you know, because it sounds good. And look at this. Wow. Look at this and look at this. I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. I'm saying that because it is good. That usually when the spirit is taking some things away from you, it's because it's no longer necessary for the journey that you're about to embark upon. It's us that defines it as a loss when we lose friends, or we're no longer comfortable in the space, or we don't like what we do anymore. We perceive it as some assault on our comfort, our security, or, you know, our happiness, when in actuality, if we were to be able to perceive it as ultimately a blessing, you know, and something that is trying to take away, subtract so that it can add unto you, you can get over this energy in any form. If you continue to define those experiences as their lowest vibration, and won't even if you can't feel the energetic empowerment, but if you can just allow yourself to project it, you know, even though it might be sad sometimes to lose things and people and be disconnected from places, if you can allow your first eye, some say third eye, but we say first eye, to perceive your projection, you know, and your transcendence and ascendance in any type of way, you won't be stuck in this place. You know, this get out energy, you won't be stuck in this cycle of despair and depression for very long. You'll start to find the gratitude for what you have, not, you know, the reverence for what you don't. Or I'm not trying to say reverence, but when you're looking back on things, the lack of what you don't. I know I'm gonna find a better word when I'm done, but you won't be. You see how he's looking at these cups that are spilled more than he's looking at the two that are actually filled, or at least upright. We don't know what's in them, but perhaps filled. You won't be looking at the glass half full, or what you spilled milk, or what you've lost and things like that. Your eyes will be set on the journey ahead, this new opportunity that is a promise of the true happily ever after, true wish fulfillment, not something that's fleeting, for you to truly sit in the authority and power in your life, and to be an elevated master of the material world, and strength, and being aligned in spirit and in truth, and sitting on the head and shoulders above the rest, above chaos and confusion. And this is the ultimate alignment here. You know, even this, I keep pulling cards and I don't even mean to, and then there's the Emperor. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the vibe, Hierophant here, but in the high vibration. You know, when you have chosen your divine self, you know, above all else, not carnal fulfillment, and you've aligned with your spiritual nature, you've accepted the dark and the light of you, because yes, you are comprised of both, but seeing those aspects of yourself that are to be released organically, and those that are to actually be hosted organically as well, because there's a great disparity between that, especially when you're looking through the eyes of society that tells you that, you know, that you allow to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Oftentimes when we're looking at religion and culture and community, family, you know, corporations and, you know, media and all those structured societies of projection that have an agenda to uphold, and so therefore they project a certain perspective, so that those that they are looking to influence only see through that lens. You know, you have to shut your eyes to that perspective as tightly as you possibly can, because that'll keep you in this place of lack, where you're always in fear to do anything outside of the box or against the grain, and you're always in some space of need, because you never feel like you are enough, let alone that you have enough. That's the total octave of this vibration over here, where you're a counterpart and a match to the collaborations and connections that best align with you in spirit and in truth. And it puts you in a true position of power and authority and sovereignty over your life, so that you can stand against any, you know, collaboration or conglomerate or coven, even in the most spiritual and dark spiritual sense, or any corporation, or just any constitution of society that is, you know, illusionary, and still find peace and value in exactly who you are, without having to bend and shapeshift into anything more or anything less to do so. You know, so get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. And as the T said, your inner self is your inner guide. Get into the light that's shining and pulsating from within you, that's really being a beacon to this energy here that can see above and beyond all things that kind of keep us confined and bound. Get out of your mind, your mind's eye, in the sense that has been in the way that it's been, you know, diluted and obstructed by the ways of society, is not the focus. It's the heart and the spirit that one needs to truly tap into to see the most prominent and prosperous way forward. Okay? All right, so there's that. That was fun. I hope you can see everything here, and let me know what you think, please. If I see views are definitely um, going up, and I appreciate that tremendously. If you connect to anything that I've said, don't forget to like. Please do subscribe, and thank you for those that have. Share if you feel guided to, and definitely comment as you feel led. So for now, thank you for indulging me on this new wave of spiritual expression. I'm sure that these cards will come forth again in some other capacity. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.